coordinator Sefa Ercan and Ezgi Başar are also here to listen you.
Hello.
Okay. Hello. Hello. Can you
Merhaba.
repeat your name, please? I didn't hear that.
Sefa Ercan.
Sefa Ercan.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Nice to see you. So,
And Ezgi Başar is also here. She is also one of our coordinators.
Hello.
great. Hello.
So I give the floor to Elia to introduce you.
Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Eleanor from Atölye Z, and today I'll be moderating 23rd installment of Atolye Z Talks series. Today we have Olga Khaletskaya'ı as our guest. Welcome and thank you for accepting our invitation. Before we start, I'd like to give brief information about you. Olga Khaletskaya'ı is a college illustrator and mixed media artist with 10 years of professional experience. Born in Kazakhstan, Almaty, Khaletskaya'ı graduated from St. Petersburg University of Humanities and Social Sciences. She is a self-educated illustrator who now works as a lecturer at online school Backbank Education. Olga Khaletskaya'ı creates college illustrations on a wide range of subjects as nonfiction books, magazines, advertising, animation, museums, interiors, social issues, etc. According to her, in her personal artworks, she explores abstract collage and engages with various topics to push her creative boundaries. And by saying that, I'd like to leave the floor to our guest.
Thank you, Elia. Teşekkür ederim.
You're welcome.
Yes, I want to thank you for invitation and thank you all the team of Gazi University. It's a really honor to be your guest today. And I hope that I can tell you something interesting and useful. Sure, I'm not an architect, I'm not a designer, I'm just an illustrator. But I hope that my practice, my story about collage can be helpful for you in some ways. So let's start. Maybe I can just apologize about my not perfect English. Maybe sometimes I can be slowly or ask something. So for this case, we have Ella, and maybe she can help me if I will have some difficulties. But I'm sure that it is not a problem for our to understand each other. Okay, let's start. First of all, I will tell about me a little, and then I can share my impressions about your artwork, about your project, Stopias. And please feel free to ask some questions in process or maybe after my speech. I will try to give feedback if needed. So let's start. First of all, I will share my screen, my presentation. It's going to be a lot of images today. All these images are mine. Everything my artworks, and of course, mostly it is collage style, collage techniques. So I hope it works. I hope you can see my screen. Yes.
Yes.
So great. Thank you. Okay, my name is Olga Khaletskaya'ı. I'm collage illustrator and collage artist. As Elia says, I was born in Kazakhstan and now live in USA, in Los Angeles. I have an experience in different ways, mostly in editorial and commercial illustrations. Magazines like Esquire, Men's Health, Women's Health, Cosmopolitan, and so on. It's different magazines from Russia and from Kazakhstan too. I guess you may know all these names. And for these years, I've created images for different things. For example, for book covers, editorial, as I said, commercial projects, advertising, websites, wine labels. It was my favorite project, this wine label. Or I created big images in 5 or 10 meters high for interiors. It was in an interior of Museum of Cosmonautic Hall in Moscow. So as you see, there's a lot of different projects, and all these images, all these artworks was made only in collage techniques. So it's not my experience. I know the other collage artists that can do a really wide range of things in various ways using just the collage technique. So why did I choose collage? I will try to tell you something about this technique very quickly. And then I will show you some good things about collage. Why did I choose exactly this thing? So as you know, maybe collage, it's a kind of visual art, which is about assembling different objects or materials to create a new piece of art. Collage is not similar. It might be very different. Maybe if you saw my social media, you can notice that in one techniques, there are very, very different styles just in collage techniques. And I want to categorize these types of collage because it's very useful to understand how you can use this technique in different ways. And for example, first of all, we can notice the types of collage by production method. Here we are. First of all, of course, it is paper collage, or sometimes it calls mixed media. Usually it's a piece of magazines or various papers or something you can cut and paste and glue onto the paper. And sometimes you can add some extra materials like, I don't know, yarn, lace, trees leaves or something else. And in this case, we call it mixed media, when you add something more than just a paper. Here are examples from my experience, one of my first works. Then we can go to digital collage. We usually create it in Adobe Photoshop. Photoshop maybe is the best graphic editor for that. And of course, you can use both ways of creating collage. First of all, you can make analog collage on paper, then scan it, or sometimes I use just my phone and it's enough. And after that, you can make post-production in Photoshop just to make the image clear, to delete some things, or maybe make colors more bright, and so on. Photoshop is the best one for that. And then I can notice the assemblage is the thing that you did for this project. It is the way when it's some kind of sculpture when you use 3D objects like volumetric objects and materials. Actually, I didn't find some truly assemblage in my practice, but I found images of this project. It's better to say that is decoupage. Decoupage is when you glue in paper pieces to some kind of objects. And this object seems very strange, but it is the project of my husband. He's also an artist, and one day he created this constructor of camera obscura. I don't know if you understand what is it. It was one of the first prototype of photo camera. So it is a constructor that made from wooden pieces, and there is a small window. When you look at that, you can see the reflection of the view outside. So it was historically, it was one of the first prototype of photo camera, and I know that architects also used that thing. So this is a type of camera obscura, and I made this decoration on it with different papers, and so you can see what happens with it. I know it's a very strange thing, but it is also type of collage. So, and when we go next, I can show you different visual forms of collage by its visual form. Collage has also a lot of varieties. It might look very different. For example, this is kind of photo montage, or we can call it surreal collage. It works like a real montage in filmmaking, when you can combine different elements or different shots together, and with help of that to create a new place, new action, new story, sometimes surreal story. So here you can see that it looks like a real image, like real photo, but surreal because of the scales, because of this strange big things outside. So this is example of kind of photo montage. Then we'll go next and we'll see this type of collage. I call it compositional or title collage. It is not some kind of official name of this type, just my categorization, because I am like a teacher. I wanted to categorize all the types of collage, and I see that this kind of artwork is very usual. A lot of people use it. It is very good for some kind of title pages, covers, when you need to present something in this way. You see, it's kind of a bunch of elements, like a bouquet in the center, and usually it's maybe open space outside. I like this type of collage very much. Then go next, we can see, I call it cutout collage. Is the way when you usually do not use ready-made images, ready-made photos, but you create image by with the help of shapes, forms, and spots, or some kind of textures and colors. It's maybe the same way when you can take the scissors and starting to cut something, like in the childhood, you know. So it's also type of collage. Of course, they different types can mix and combine with each other. So let's go next. Here I can show you the typography. Sometimes you can use collage with letters or words with typography. This way is good for maybe graphic designers or editorial in printing. It is also maybe a small way to use this type of technique. This is not words here, but it was also my artwork. It's symbols, but it's the same way, I guess. And go next. abstract collage. Actually, it's a great exercise for abstract thinking, for pointless thinking, when you don't think about some kind of idea in your head, and for creating this type of collage or artwork, you can just relax and start experimenting with forms, textures, and colors. Usually you cannot have some idea inside your head, as I said. So it is also works as a symbolical story, and sometimes it can work like a decoration. Often I see that this kind of collage using for some merch, for some decoration, and so on. And maybe the last one thing that I want to show you is an architecture collage. It is also maybe a typical type of collage and one of my favorite also, because architecture provides a large field for experiments with forms, shapes, and textures also. And for example, this project for me was very favorite because of I'm interested in architecture. I will tell about this later. And sometimes I see that such kind of collages, architecture using in some kind of sketches in their work. So this is several types of collages. As I said, it's just my categorization. We can mix or combine these different types of collage. And of course, there are a lot of other ways to use the same conception of the same as collage. I don't know, it might be mosaic or something else, but these things I usually see in illustration field, in the field of the arts and illustration. So let's go next. And here I can tell you some good things about collage and a little bit about my story. How did I start making collage? Why did I choose exactly this style, these techniques? And I will tell later all these points from this slide. So how did I start making collages, and why did I choose exactly this thing? The answer is very simple, and maybe it can discredit me. It's because of my laziness in learning how to draw. I don't have any special education or in academic drawing or in some kind of art. I'm self-educated illustrator, and it is a funny and in the same time inspiring fact that I always tell to my students. As I said, I'm teaching in one of the famous Russian-speaking school, and I always see the students that are not confident in their abilities. They don't believe they ever can be a good illustrator. And in this way, I just tell them, look at me, I don't have any special art education. I can even draw a human body, honestly. At the same time, I am illustrator. For 10 years, I have a lot of commissions. I work in different ways. So because of collage technique. So, and of course, not only collage techniques, and because of, I hope, good ideas in my art, in my projects. So what is the story? I worked in a bar in Kazakhstan for a long time as art director. And one day I just wanted to create something special, some art. So I tried to draw. I took pencil, I draw a flower, I draw a cat. It wasn't masterpiece. It was terrible. I didn't like it like this. So I realized that it took too much time to study, to practice, just to draw something realistic. And I'm very excited about people that can draw good because for me it was a really big problem. I wanted to have a quick result, and in the same time I wanted to do something unusual. Realistic, it's so boring. What's the point? But I saw somebody's collage in the internet. It was very simple and just some kind of cut papers, flowers. But it was something interesting in that I took some books from my shelf, postcards, scissors, and tried to cut. And I like it. I didn't have any ideas what I'm doing. I just improvised it and I couldn't stop after that. So here may be one of my very first collage. Yes, I just remember that book with this kind of fish. So I saw that I can do something special in this kind of very simple way. So the first good thing about collage is easy start, like in my way. Then I can notice other good things about collage. Creativity freedom. It means that it is almost no rules in collage. You can combine different objects and textures and shapes and forms, and any piece of environment, any type of object around you can be a piece of art in your hand. So I can say that through the collage, you are learning to be attentive to the world around you, to notice details around, find something beautiful maybe in simple things. So creativity is everywhere. Then I can notice wide range of visual effects that collage allow to realize. For example, like in these images, you can use the personification. It is when not a live thing, like this calendar or book or something else, not a live inanimate thing become live. When you add hands or maybe head or eyes or mouth to them, it works very good sometimes. Then you can experiment with scales. It's always good looking when we have something big like space or sea and something extra big. You can see here too. And for visual effects, of course, one of the good things is to find some good metaphors, good and clear metaphor that show something, not straight, not like in words, but some in other way. Like you can see here, there's some guy like fighting with viruses, but he has this thermometer, I don't know how to say. So I think it's very simple, but very good metaphor for some kind of idea. So the next good thing about collage is the thing that this technique is a very good composition and color training. I'm sure that any kind of collage, when you work with it right, is the perfect tool to learn composition and color, not in theory, but in practice. So moving and resizing elements, changing its colors and tones gives you different results. And if you analyze what happens, what emotional feedback it gives you as a viewer, you can learn how to manage composition and make it more expressive, more good. Here you can just maybe we can have just one rule is experiments and analysis. So you think and watch and think what are you doing. So this is the way to find the right composition or right colors. So for me, collage, it always is a training tool. And maybe the last one good thing about collage, it's quickness. For example, these illustrations I made for the charity foundation. That was Medya that they published several articles in a day. So sometimes I had a very little time for creating images. If I would be the artist that draw by pencil or by, I don't know, digital painting, it can took a lot of time to create something. But in collage, you see, I just took some images, some photos, combine it, and very quickly have a good and very well result. So it was very helpful in my work. But in this case, here should be a really good and powerful and clear idea or metaphor, like here. We can see these images and we can understand what is it talking about. So maybe that's it. These are all good things about collage. Maybe it might be more, but I just wanted to notice this one. So let's go next. Maybe if you have any questions in this part, you can ask maybe by voice or in the chat. And then I can go to the next part of my speech. Okay, if no, now I will go next, and I want to open a little door to my backstage, to my creative kitchen, and to show a little how do I create some collages. I didn't know which collages, which artworks to choose, but I hope it can be interesting for you. So the first series is this one. It's a series of architecture collages. It is quite popular in Almaty. People love these posters, and they sell in some shops in Almaty. And this series was inspired by Soviet modernist architecture of Almaty. It's the buildings that I've looked at since my childhood. I tried to disassemble these buildings, their photos, into different parts and combine it with other pieces in different way, like a constructor. Also, it was important for me to preserve and designate the significance of these buildings for any citizen of Almaty, because people live in their city, they really love their city, and they're always happy to see the buildings, the things that they know from their childhood. So I wanted to remind, it's a kind of remind of the historical value of our architecture. For example, these two buildings on this collage are circus and marriage registry. They are both round, and they are located very closely to each other in the city, maybe right opposite of each other on the road. So, and both of the buildings are associated with family or kids. Circus is the place when we go in with kids, with our family, to have some fun, to see maybe some animals. And the second building, marriage registry, is the place where people get married to create the family. And so I saw this similarity in the round form. I turned it upside down and found this interesting form. It looks like maybe some spaceship, something strange. And one of my friends said a joke about this image. It was like something like the first, at first is marriage, and then a circus starts. I think it's a very cruel joke, but something special in that. So, and also when I found this form, maybe you can see also the small, or I cannot scale it. There are a small couple of people there, not so bright, but also a small detail that can catch your eye. So here is based just on the similarity of the form. And other way that I like it is then you can upside down this image and find something new in that. So the next collage is about, there are 3 buildings related to an Almaty airport. And all of these buildings are our lost heritage. So bottom part of this construction of this image is the terminal postmodernist architecture that currently used as a mobile phone market. It is very messy and chaotic place inside, but the facades is very interesting. I really love that side, that decoration. If you can see, I've added the photos here, original photos. So it was very beautiful when it was built, and now it looks terrible, especially inside, like a big market. So we lost that place, but maybe someday something will happen and they can reconstruction this building. Building in the middle, it's 1974. It was the main terminal of the airport, and it was destroyed by fire in 1999. And the top of this part with this tower, it is the historical building of the very first airport of Almaty, 1936. And it is also an object of cultural heritage, but it was demolished 2 years ago. You can see on the photo how was it look in the beginning and what happens with them maybe just a year ago. So recently it was recreated in another location, but actually nobody in Almaty believes that they could save and preserve the this original building. So here I wanted just to show and just to some kind of save and preserve these buildings that are related, that are associated with airport. And the next image, I can show you first the original building. This is my love for this kind of architecture. And I don't know, maybe we can just have a little quest, and maybe you can guess what kind of building is it, what kind of place is it, what is using for, because when I see my Russian friends in Almaty and show them this place, this building. They make the most unexpected guesses of this building. They said that it might be a museum or maybe farm market or concert hall or something else, but nobody never guessed what is it. So I guess maybe for European people it might be strange, but maybe for us, for Eastern people, yes, good thing about religion buildings, but no. It was the also this kind of idea, but no, it's different thing. So, any guesses? I can show you next slide. Actually, it is maybe one of my favorite places and one of my favorite buildings in the Almaty. I live right opposite of this place and see it from my window. So here is the answer. It is a public bus. Yes, we call it Arasan Wellness and Spa. It was the very first public bus in Almaty, and it is a really cool cool building of modernist architecture with these big domes. I guess maybe there are 5 or 6 big domes, and I like this building. You see, it has very cool interiors inside and different kind of saunas. So I don't know if you ever will visit Almaty, I recommend to visit this place. So I was just playing and experimenting with this original building and tried to combine it with other buildings and just found this interesting form, this figure that is floating in the air. Also, it seems like a spaceship with such kind of domes. So, yes, here I can give you maybe one recommendation also if you can be interested in architecture. I have this book. It's my table book, maybe. It's on English. Yeah, I show it on my next slide. Yes, it is very good book about, it's a real guide to Soviet modernist architecture in Kazakhstan, in Almaty, because Almaty has it's a really good place to study, to learn something about the Soviet modernist architecture. This book is at Russian, at English, and I often read it. There are very interesting stories about how constructions was there. So recommend you if you are interested in such kind of architecture. So this is the series that I created because of inspiring the series that of things that I love, that are very very sorry, very close to me. And next. Next, I will show you the other way to how to use collage, in which way. For example, on these images, it's a kind of historical or documentary illustrations, and also with collage. You see, it's quite other style, other mood of these images, but the techniques is the same. Digital collage is very good way for working with historical facts or maybe contemporary, when you need to show something from real life, something authentically or historically. And here maybe I can give you some life hacks if you need it. For this series, I used use it, documentary images found in one of the digital library in the internet. And for example, this guy or other photos. And this image that I found, you see there is a small text on the bottom. They have a public domain license. It means that these images are not protected by intellectual property, and you are free to use it in any ways. It is often, but not always actually, for old historical images, for old historical photos. The thing that I wanted to say, when you're working with digital collage and you find some images in internet and want to use it, any image from the internet is somebody's ownership, and it has its creator. So for using some kind of images from the internet, especially if there are some persons, faces, or humans, you have to check the license and rules of using this image, and don't violate anybody's copyright. Otherwise, you may have some problems with an author or with his lawyer. So it is a very important rules for working with others' images from internet. Other way how to work with some photos, especially with human body, you can cut or rebuild or reassemble original image. For example, if you need a hand, you can find any hand, because it is abstract hand, and maybe we will never find the author of this image. So hand is okay, it's fine, because we don't know where did you get it. But when there's a person, a human, it's not good to use it is like you get it. So you can cut details and make something new, and this result might be very interesting. So use photo stocks and check the license for images. Photo stocks can be free or not free. Even if you will find some photo stock for free when you shouldn't pay for images, it's better to read how are you going to use this image. Especially when maybe as I goes with a commercial, when you are going to sell it like advertising, like a promo for some brands, some advertising, should be very, very careful with using of these images. But anyway, there's a lot of free images in internet. You can just read and use it. So this is one resource of images, photo stocks. And here on the right side of the slide, you can see another resources for your collage, for my collage. You see that here for this work, I had some kind of idea in my head, some sketches, and I know that I knew that I need some kind of elements, details, and I didn't want to spend time in internet. I just make photos of materials that I needed, like this ground, this fabric, and this plant. We call it adraspan. I don't know if you know what is it. Kazakhs use it in some kind of rituals. And I just took my phone, make these images, and get it in, put it in Photoshop, and here we are. I created something new in my collage. So this is also the small life hack for creating collages. is that you can always create your own materials. It is around us. It is some kind of textures, photos, maybe wall, fabric, anything. You can use it and just put on, click on, I don't know how to say, your fantasy. So, and maybe I can show you this series. I call it Balanced Sculptures. This series, one of my favorite, and it is an analog collage I made from paper with a little post-production is in Photoshop. Actually, I hadn't any idea what I'm going to do when I started. I just gave myself up to my feelings, to improvisation. And when I cut in pieces, I found this special feeling that catches me, feeling of balance. And I created these functional sculptures that are unsteady, but they it seems that they found some balance. So I don't know what is it, but I like it. So it is the thing that I said about collage is improvisation. I don't know, maybe you cannot see in my screen. Here is my sketchbook for collages. And these are original paper collages that I used for this project. Here are. Yes, this is one of my favorite projects. When I was working with paper in that moment, I noticed also one trick, one interesting life hack for paper collages. If you will look at these maybe two last images, you can see there is such a small red pieces of paper. Actually, it is cuttings. It's the details of paper that I've cut the circle, and this is detail that I left. I didn't throw it away. You see, for example, this thing, and also maybe several other details. So I didn't throw them away, and I watched them, and they also were used in my this construction. So here is my life hack, is to use any materials, cuttings that you may not wanted to use at first. Yes, and in this series, I created a real sculpture. It is very small. It was made from acrylic and UV printing. Here we are. This is my sculpture, and this is my favorite cat near it. So it was my first try of some kind of sculpture, and I wish to continue this kind of collaging, like in 3D, in small sculptures. So, okay, to finalize this part, I can maybe guess you some artist tricks in collages. First is research. Learn the subject totally, the subject, the topic that you work with. Second thing is random, is just let yourself improvise. Use any materials that you will find, cuttings, personal photos, textures, anything can be very interesting material. And balance is also very important thing. Find balance in any image, because at first I said that there are no rules in collage, but actually there is maybe one rule is balance, because composition and colors are very important things to create a really good looking composition, good looking image, because here is metaphor. For example, when you get ready to go somewhere, you put on your pants, trousers, jeans, t-shirt, then you put on your jacket, you put on the coat, shoes, hat, bag, something else, some necklace, earrings, and all these are different details, different elements, but you trying to combine it on your body, on yourself. And if all these details are going to be not balanced to each other with wrong color or wrong form, you may look not good, honestly. So here is the secret of collage: just find some balance of composition and color. So maybe, yes, maybe that's all that I wanted to say to you, basically. Yes, here is the last page, maybe my contacts. Thanks for watching. Any questions maybe about in this part of my speech? I can answer some questions.
Yeah,
And
we can move to the questions. You can use the chat section or use your microphone to ask. If you'd like, I'd ask you questions that from Atölye we have sent already to you.
yeah, sure. Yes, I remember I saw them. Let's try.
Okay, so
Yeah. I see
there's
it
a
was the
question
question
like,
about social.
yeah,
Should I read it?
yeah, I can ask them.
Yes.
Because there are also questions that they've sent to me that I couldn't send it to you. So I
There
can
was
ask
a
them.
question about collages on social issues. There are many topics to talk about. How do you choose the ones that you want to make illustrations about? Do you willingly touch those topics, or you feel like you have to say something with your illustrations about them? Yes, maybe you could see some social illustrations in my social media, and I can say that of course it's a kind of self-reflections, but it's mostly about not commissioned collages, not illustrations that I create for somebody, for some brand. It is only for personal projects, because you know, we live in very hard times now, and I see some kind of not good things that touched me, and the first impulse to do is to do something to change some bad things, but often you cannot do anything with that, with wars, with disease, with some kind of violence. And so the better way is just to direct your emotions, your thoughts in something that you can do, like an art, for example, if you can do that. Yes, and social projects are harder than commercial projects, but sometimes it is really get better when I can say something, share with my worries, and let them go. So you can open the space inside to do something new, something else. But as I said, I was working for a charity foundation the long time, maybe 1 or 2 years. And there was another way of working with social topics, difficult topics, because as I said, I should work quickly, and they just gave me the text, and the text was terrible. I don't know, it's about dying kids, dying babies, about cancer, and this is your work. You should just read the text and make an image, and you cannot choose I want to do that or not. You just need to do your work and find some good idea. So this is the way. But now, of course, it's a kind of thing to say something.
Okay, there's a question about your inspirations. They asked, how do you decide before making a collage? What are your inspirations?
Actually, it depends because when I have commissions, when I have a client, a briefing, write topics, I start from idea. Of course, I searching the topic, I'm learning as much as I can. And actually, sometimes there is no inspiration in this way because it is just a kind of maybe design work. You have a task and you can do this task to show something that you should do. It's one way of working, and the other way, it is mostly about my personal projects. As I said, it's just improvising. And here inspiration can be in anything, in materials, in textures, in something that you have seen on the street and remember that, maybe some details, and you can just use it for working. And other things for me that is good for me, it's the notes. I have some kind of not notebook, but channel in Messenger that I use just for me, and I write all the interesting things right here just for me. It's like a collection of ideas of some inspirations for me, and I can look there in any time and find something interesting that I saw before.
There's actually a question that's close to this one, which is, how do you create the photo archive you use in your collage?
How do I create what?
Your photo archive. Like when you see a photo, do you think that, okay, let me take this photo, I can use it in future in my work?
Yes, sure. Photos, the original images also can be inspiration for me because I have really a lot of folders on my computer, and when I searching for photos for one project, I can find photos that I don't need right now, but it is very good photo, and I can save it and use it for another project and to make something new just around of this founded image.
The other question is, as far as we know, you were born in Kazakhstan, studied in Russia, and now you are living in USA. And how does this, like changing location, meeting new people, trying to blend in with a new society and culture, affect your art?
Yes, of course, it has a big meaning. New country always places you in the local context. And do you want it or not? You just stay in there and just need to be in the context. Yes, I had 2 migrations in my past life, and I should say it's not easy way, but it is very interesting and useful and progressive way to find new I don't know, new feelings and new points of view. And I should say that at first time, maybe half a year, I feel that I worry worry more sharper, more strongly about my previous place. For example, now I'm not so long time in America, but I still worry about the things that are happening in Kazakhstan. It is because the connection is still strong. It is because I still miss my motherland, and I'm in my mind still there in some kind of view. But I'm sure that in some time later, I will bring myself into the local context and will deep inside of it, because you live here in this place and you cannot ignore anything that happens around you. And one thing that I can notice about this period is the very big contrast of the place where I live now. America is a very rich and comfortable maybe country. There's a lot of money here, but also there's a lot of real problems. That's true. And for me, it's some kind of contrast or dissonance when you see how do people live here in this country and what happens in other places. So of course you cannot choose which feelings you want to feel, to choose. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting psychological experience that definitely it goes to the next level of creativity. For example, here in America, I see absolutely different visual code, like in Russia or in Kazakhstan. People love here very bright images, flowers, palms, something so funny, so nice. And sometimes it gets in dissonance with me, but it looks great. Now I want to do something the same, like I see here. Maybe that's it for my question.
The next question is actually by me, because you said that you cannot draw, and actually most college artists say that they use collage because they don't have to draw or paint. And I've been drawing since childhood, and I really wonder what's the differences of improving your skills. Like for drawing, you have to practice every day to improve it. But how do you improve your collage skills, let's say like that? It's only programming skills, or is there more to that?
No, as I said, it is almost all basic skills that I need to be an illustrator. As I said, it is composition, it is color, it is storytelling when you're telling visual story. I improve watchfulness. I learn to pay attention to details around me. As I said, collage, it's like just a tool and just a technique. Basically, I am illustrator and I'm a visual story, and collage is just another way. It's like you can paint with watercolor or pencils or make a sculpture. But in all this practice, you improve maybe the basic skills. The thing is, how long are you doing that? For a long time is better. And how do you learn with that? As I said, I just notice for me the points where can I make my skills better just in collage. And it is absolutely the basic skills. And by the way, I should say that working as illustrator with experience, I'm not scared to draw something. Sometimes I draw for my illustrations. It's not good actually, but I know that it is also a kind of style. Maybe it's not perfect, but it is can be a part of my style inside of collage. So I should say that any skills are improving by collage too.
So talking about style, like what are the art trends that inspire you the most and you use in your art?
Actually, I don't know. I cannot choose one or two best artists. I have a whole list of modern illustrators, modern artists, maybe not so famous, not so popular. These guys, I am learning from them of something and inspiring of them. And I don't know, my taste changes very often, so I cannot just stay in one style and choose the one artist that I like. Today I like one artist and tomorrow I like other. I don't know, maybe I can say about René Magritte because of his surrealistic style. It was very new and exciting for me when I saw him the first time. And it is interesting to learn the second layer of artists. How did they come to their art? In which period they worked? How did they live? And it is interesting to understand why he did what he did, because it is shows through his life. And also maybe I can remember the modern artist Philippe Panton. I don't know if you know him. He makes very colorful things. It's very different, but I like that he goes outside just art. He creates sculptures or some strange things, and I think he's really unique. I don't know anybody who is doing the same things. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a few questions about doing art as a career, because since childhood, actually, we've been taught that art is something that you do as a hobby in your free time. But when you do it as a career, is there any disadvantages of that?
Yeah, Ella,
Let's put
sorry.
it this way. Can you express yourself freely when you do art as your job? Like you have to like also fulfill the needs of your clients and to meet like both of your expectations.
Yeah, it's problematic for everybody. I think because when you start in work in art, in some kind of creative field, you think that, oh, I will do something special. It's so funny, it's hobby. I will never be tired of that. But when it became your job, your work, it is the different way. Sometimes you cannot choose the client, choose what to do, and you just doing your job. And of course, in my way, when I started collages, I was sure that I want to earn money by this. It wasn't like a hobby. Of course, at first it was a hobby, but then I realized that I can go to Esquire or some magazine and publish my art there and earn some money. So I was ready inside of me that it can be a job, it can be a work, and I can earn the money. So in this way, I found some compromise with myself, that very often I did the things that I don't want to do or I don't like to do. Maybe you can know that client sometimes may have other view, and this is your compromise, how to discuss this with them and find the better way to do your job. So in this case, Now it takes all my time. It became my freelance, but I can live for that money. And in this, after 10 years of experience, I hope, and I want to let myself to do some art, not commissioned art. I need this because I very often, honestly, feel that I've stuck in this kind of style because clients want all the same, and it is boring for me. And this is why I do my personal projects, just to feel the inspiration and do something really interesting for me. But I like that it becomes my job, my work, not just a hobby.
Okay, so that was the exact answer that I was seeking for. So
Yeah.
I'll ask the last question and we can move to assemblers if you want. So the last question is that what are other hobbies that you have, interests or hobbies that also influence your art, your illustrations?
Architecture. Actually, when I moved to Russia, I started to learn something about architecture because I've came to a big city and it is so a lot of interesting things around you. And it was just interesting to know how it was made and what is it. So architecture is really inspiring me. I don't know. Of course, some kind of movies. I have a list of movies, and sometimes I make screenshots like a reference example, and sometimes use some screenshots to do maybe the same composition. And what else? I don't know, everything. In my point of view, an artist or illustrator, it is the person that have interests everywhere. You are a storyteller. You tell us some kind of story, and for that you need to be you need to have some material from the world around you. So any kind of things, any kind of art can be inspiring and influence for you. I don't know,
Okay,
something like that.
Have you seen our assemblages that we've sent to you?
Yes, yes,
Can you
sure.
share your screen, please?
Sure, yes, it's amazing. I will try to
So I'll just give a little info about those assemblages.
Yeah.
To choose a topia, for example, like omnitopia, heterotopia, sociotopia, dystopia, etc. Then we have based our architectural project on keywords that we have extracted from that topias. And we have also made assemblages on that concept. So I think every group will tell about their own topias.
Just a moment, I will find this folder. Yes, right here. Yeah, just a second. I found some of my notes. Yeah, I'm afraid it might be a little bit difficult for me, some things at English. Ella, maybe one moment I will ask you to translate, but I will try to.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay. Because so difficult things are difficult at English. Yes, I saw your project. I think it is amazing, really great work. To be honest, I didn't understand each kind of topia. For example, I understand what is aquatopia, it's about water, cosmotopia, something else.
Yeah, we've also
retrotopia.
learned it in process, so
Yeah.
every group will tell you what their
Yeah.
topia is.
So I understand that it's some maybe philosophy or methodological terms. But first of all, I should say that in visual aspect, how I can view these projects, I like several things and notice and like several things. First of all, it is this special synesthetic feeling of all of these objects. You know, synesthesia is when you feel something unmaterial, when you hear some word or some art, and you can feel it just like in your hands, like tactile. So watching your installations, I cannot touch them, but I really feel feel tactile or feel some kind of emotions of them. And is it clear? And do I
Yeah, it's totally clear.
understand? Okay. So the reason is, as I think, it is about because of textures, very interesting textures that you want to touch it by your hands. And of course, because of composition, because, for example, in this installation, you have absolutely clearly sharp and dangerous feeling. Not just because of you understand that it is glass. It is because of it is sharp forms, and it is very dynamic and very expressive. So I really like that feeling.
I think that one was Dystopia's assemblage.
Yeah, dystopia. And the same thing is here. Yes, we see the full, mech, full. And I don't know what is haptotopia, but it is a good way to give some real emotions. Just
actually,
with,
there is a coincidence that Haptotopia wrote me about their assemblage so that I would read it to you. If you want, I can read that.
let's try.
So Haptotopia is a topia that emphasizes the sense of touch. There are many different textures within its assemblage. We perceive tissue by touch without using the sense of sight. There are hidden holes outside the assemblage. Holes disappear into the fur. We search for and find holes and detect textures.
Wow, so can I put my hands inside of this holes, and what can I find inside
You
of?
would feel texture, you would find texture. So Haptotopia emphasized the sense of touch. That's why they created something with fur.
Okay, you see, I even don't see this object in real life, but just on photo. The artist of this installation could tell me his or her idea. Actually, these synesthetic feelings from anything, from every installation. Okay, another thing that I noticed that it is duality, because all these installations, they have some mass, some muscle, some weight inside of of this frame, and in the same time it has a lot of air inside of this frame, and they don't look heavy. They look very light and airy. It is also interesting feeling, and so duality of this feeling. I
The
just
Omnitopia one is actually our assemblage.
this one
This
with
one, yeah,
candles,
with
right?
candles and acetate.
Cool. I want to notice another one thing. It's only about my visual emotions, visual feedback of this, and after then we can discuss maybe ideas. So other thing that I like, and it is also work as collage. It also has you can find in collage techniques, is layers. It's multi-layering. I like this way that it is not plosky, not flat object, but you can feel some different layers. So it makes deepness, глубина. It makes
Yeah, it's deepness
in this. So this is just my first feeling, like synesthetic feelings, when I see the just photos of them. And the main conceptual thing maybe that I like in all these works, actually I don't know the whole story, but I like that how you work with symbols and metaphors here. So I think in every installation you found exactly object and exactly texture to show this topia, this idea. For example, I can notice maybe this sociotopia. Is it about?
Yeah, it's sociotopia.
Sociotopia. Is it about social, right?
Yeah, it is.
Society.
I just want to find what they sent me so I can translate it to you. So their topic is sociotopia, and sociotopia takes humans as its basis, and it aims to create an ideal society from ideal people. But human nature doesn't allow this. So they use this contrast at every stage of their assemblage, contrast of artificial and natural. The wires are artificial, and while the flower inside is natural. At the same time, the flowers fading over time is a reference to human movement.
Yeah, great. I like this description. And also I maybe thought about, I had the similar thoughts. I like this metaphor that plants are illustrating the humans, the peoples that grows, and they can grow, they can change, and they are standing inside the networks. They are like blocked inside of it. And about this installation, I thought that if continue thinking far in the future, this installation can be very alive. So it can grow. For example, if you leave it for 1 month with a good light and will water it with watering, these plants maybe can grow, and maybe they can make buds and start blooming. Why not? And it makes the new layer, the second layer of living of this installation. Or it may illustrate it, the good, the healthy society when people or plants can the good environment and good условия для жизни.
Reasons for life.
Reasons for life, maybe, yes. But if these plants don't have any good reasons to life, if you don't water in them, so they just die, they just getting dry and die, and maybe it can illustrate the not healthy society, some kind of bad society. This is just a fantasy of the way how maybe you can think in the future and continue this idea. Also, I wanted to notice maybe the last two things, also about one visual moment here. It is technotopia and utopia. Here is absolutely a simple metaphor, techno. We have some kind of micro schemes, but it is also about visual thing in composition. I like the way how you worked here with silhouettes and this emptiness inside. It is interesting to work with negative space inside of it, because we can see here, for example, these microschemes, like these green blocks, and we can see some empty space inside of it, and it is also can work. I don't know, you may put on your fantasy and find here some silhouettes, like, I don't know, I can see here in this metaphor, in this texture, I see such kind of megapolis, a big city, maybe night city that is glowing like a lot of skyscrapers. So what can be here inside of these spaces? I don't know, some silhouettes of buildings or paths. And the same thing is about this utopia. I see this empty space, and here very simple and very cool idea, the place that isn't exist, the emptiness inside. It is a very interesting thing that you found here. So it is also interesting works, this negative space. Maybe we can continue and find some kind of labyrinth here in this space. Okay, this is just simple things that I noticed about these projects. What else? I don't know if to go deeper. I think that I need some descriptions to try to analyze them. I don't know if needed. Because
if participants of the groups would like, they can talk about their utopias. I've talked the ones that I had under my hand, so
yeah, or if you need, because I can show it quickly, because I don't know what is antitopia or something else. In composition, in textures, it is very interesting. I like that here we have the real accent of this point. There is the center of composition and quite simple texture. It is also I want to touch it and go inside. This aquatopia is also great. I believe that this liquid is pouring from this spritz. I don't know how to say. And I like that it's a good associations with liquid because of its form. And I like the colors. It makes it more interesting for you viewing. Also, the great texture, the great layering, and this texture for me really looks like a maybe space environment. I don't know. I just like this texture and colors. And it is Cosmotopia. Maybe it's about space. I said about this dystopia, very sharp and dangerous. Ecotopia, it's maybe about some eco and nature. I can guess maybe it is a fishing nets for fishes, for catching fishes. Okay. Gaiatopia, I think that it is rolling paper inside of this, right? Also, the same thing, all these rolling papers makes the plant pattern, but it is interesting, but that it is not like a wall. You can watch through these holes, and because of this, it makes it so light, and not heavy, this texture. I want to touch this for. This is interesting with multi-layering. The secondary объем value of this net.
Second dimension, like.
Second dimension. It's heterodote. And here is I can suppose that it is the sand or something else like that. And this installation might be dynamical. Maybe this sand can pour in from these waves. It remember me the snows, the cold winter. I hope it's dynamical. Cool. I also like this composition and textures. This installation is interesting because also it has the prehistory, like prehistoria, like prequel, because it is very interesting to see prehistory. Interesting to see the candles here, and you can imagine how it was created and how long it took to make this. A long time.
We decided to use candles actually because when it's destroyed or damaged, it forms a new form. So we decided to use candles for that. And also when it's burning, its fire also emphasizes movement. So we also use acetate because it's a transparent material, and when it's burned, we can observe all the movement on an acetate. So that's why we decided to use acetate with candles.
Cool. I like this way. And here I can notice other thing that I said about collage. It is improvisation. It is that this installation in some way made it by itself. You maybe sometimes you cannot предсказать, you cannot guess what will happen in the end. Very cool.
Yeah, but because of the fact that it would take too long, we just decided to drop the candle on it. So we let it melt. We first melt the candle, then we started pouring it on the acetate. We tried to quicken the process. So that's why there are actually too many candles, because naturally there wouldn't be that much.
Very cool. I think the genius things are starting in experiments, and you did it. I like this way of symbol retrotopia, like
Yeah,
something
I can
old.
read that topia too. They've
Let's
also
try.
sent me. Retotopia is one's nostalgic longing for the past, usually displayed in a hopelessness for the future and a desire for an idealized version of the past that lacks the shortcomings of present-day experience. In their assemblage, they aim to display the dismantling distortion to a knitted fabric and its splendid and spread proliferation to other domains.
Great. It's nothing to add because it's all you can see in this, and damage like from the time. And I like these textures like a grandmother's maybe blanket or sweater. Very cool. I think the good metaphor is here, was founded. And it is also nice with contrast colors. I like the colors here. This was something difficult for me. I didn't realize what is cybertopia, but it looks like a labyrinth inside of this frame, maybe with some doors or windows. I don't know, very interesting. Maybe you can read.
I also don't have any information about this one.
Okay, no information, but very interesting.
I mean, if members of the group want, they can talk about it.
I can talk about it if you hear me.
Yes.
In this assemblage, we focus on the reflective side of the cybertopia. We put some images in it and hide them with reflective material. So this way you can see the reflections of images when you look at from holes and question what's real or not.
Wow, great. So
Thank
Ilya, did I understand right that there is some kind of reflection paper like mirrors or something like
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Cool. So you have added an interactive in this installation. Very cool. And these holes works very good because they are calling us to look inside. It is absolutely clearly sign of this hole. Just come and watch and see inside.
Thank you.
And okay, and I said about the last one, I said something. Yes, very cool. I impressed very much. Thank you all. It was very interesting. And also in this project, I thought about a couple of techniques, creative techniques, how to work with ideas, with metaphors. And I see, or maybe I can suppose that you used absolutely the same techniques. I use it all the time in my work. It is the first thing is about association. Oh, I cannot say that word. Associatie. Associates.
Association.
Association. Sorry. Associations. So maybe you should know this creative tool. It calls associated map. When you're finding some special words that are showing your main word, your element, and find something similar, some synonym. And it is a good way to find really not simple object to show your idea. And when I do that exercise, when I use that tool, my strategy is to find as lot of words as you can. For example, you have one element, one word, for example, I don't know, retro, for example, we can say about retro. And you write the 5 words that associated with this word retro. What can it be? For example, the first thing that I think about, it is a old television, black and white movie, some kind of old techniques, radio, old photos, and something else. Okay, very good. You have 5 words. It is the very simple words, and it is very good, but you should throw them away and go next. And after that, you will write another 5 words, and they are going to be more complicated, more interesting. For example, I don't know, in this case, blanket, grandmother, watch, clock, watches, like a symbol of time. Something else, I don't know, I cannot improvise right now. So very good. The next 5 words that associated with this word is better. But if you will go on the next level and start thinking more deeply, more complicated, your brain starting to work hardly and will find more complicated words and objects for that. And on the next level, on this stage, when you think hard, you can find really, really interesting objects and words for your idea. So my point is to write a lot of words, as much as you can, and don't stop on the first few ideas. If you will go next, you will find something more interesting and complicated. This is the one techniques. I think maybe you used the same way of finding these objects. And another techniques, I don't know, I cannot show it maybe for you. So these techniques, we call it creative matrix, or matrix of ideas. Do you know about that? Do you know what is it? I think it's a quite a typical tool for generate some new ideas. If not, maybe I can tell you very quickly or show you. Okay, maybe let's try do it just online. Any guesses what I'm going to talk about, to say to you? So creative matrix, it is a such kind of, it's like a brainstorming tool that gives the combining 2 words into one. So you can see for inventing new ideas, for finding new ideas with combining 2 objects or 2 words in our case. So generally, this matrix, this structure is, here we have 2 categories, and we can write different words or ideas here in these rows and columns. For example, I don't know, let's try random words like sun, car. Maybe you can add some words, please. Feel free to do it in the chat. It will be interesting. Sun, car, planet, water, and please help me. Give me a couple of words for that. We will try to find
Words
some
about what?
collage.
Just random words?
Just random words. Just random words.
Stone.
Okay.
Needle.
Phone,
Needle. What else?
brush,
Brush. And maybe a couple plus 2 words. Let's try table and sadness, for example. And here we have 4 words here and 4 words here, random words. And here in this ячейка, in this place, in this square, we are trying to combine all these 2 words and invent some new image or some new idea. It may be absolutely crazy, absolutely stupidly idea, but something just when we combine, for example, here sun and needle. Needle, Эля, это иголка, правильно, that's right?
да, это иголка.
Иголка. Okay, for example, I am as an illustrator, I can imagine it like an image. For example, sun sewing a blanket, for example. Or we can say needle. Или how to say лопающийся шарик. Шарик лопается.
Popping bubble.
Popping bubble.
Yeah.
Needle that popping. Sun. Imagine
Вы
sun.
имеете в виду шарик как баллон или просто
Баллон.
как bubble?
Balloon.
Тогда
Oh,
баллон. Popping
balloon.
bubble. Баллон. Yeah.
Needle that popping sun balloon. Okay, here we have 2 very strange ideas here. Imagine that the sun is such kind of balloon. It's yellow. It has some rays, and you take a needle and pop in this sun balloon. It is something unusual, something interesting here. Okay, for example, we can go next and do something with sun and brush. And of course, sun is brushing its rays like a hair, for example. Rays hair. Okay, that's fine. Or what else? Brush can be toothbrush. Sun brushing.
Actually, I imagined a paintbrush when I said it.
Paintbrush. Wow. You see, now we work not just with this matrix, we just work with associated, because brush, it can be a brush for hair, brush for teeth, and
Yeah.
brush for painting.
Paint.
For sure, sun can paint the art. Sun paint the art. Here we can 3 ideas, and so on. Okay, maybe we can. I don't know if you want to move on. We can give here just a couple of ideas with any of these words. For example, planet and table. For example, right? Planet and a table. I can imagine that planets are on plates on the table. So we can imagine that planet, it is our dinner, it is our food. We can sit and eat these planets, for example. Or what can we imagine with the water and the sadness? It is abstract thing. I don't know how to
Obviously,
imagine
tears, maybe.
tears, of course. Tears. What else? It's the easiest associated,
Yeah.
the words. And what if we'll go next and we'll find something more difficult, more complicated? Sad water, what can it be? We can choose another side and imagine that it is a drink that I don't know how to say that напиток против грусти.
Drink against sadness.
Against the sadness. Again,
Anti-sadness.
against
Yeah,
the
sadness.
sadness. So you can turn it upside down and work from water or work from sadness, and look at this thing from double-sided, from this or that side. Okay, maybe it's enough. I hope you understand this technique. So for me, it is absolutely funny thing. I use it very often. It is like a game. It is like a training for your brains. And it is absolutely useful also for your project with these topias. For example, in this word, topia, any kind of topia, we have two parts. First is topia. Topia is the place, right? Is the some kind of place, and we can just find some words for the word place. What can it be? We can see it can be a frame, a planet, a city, a box, and so on. Just new words, and we can find some associations with retro or the first part of this thing, and then we can combine that in this way, in this creative matrix, matrix of idea, and we'll find some new ideas, very unexpected ideas. So for me, it is absolutely the same collage technique, but when I do it in Photoshop, I combine images, I combine elements, but here we just combine and assembling the words, the ideas, and find something new and interesting. Oh, so what else? I think we discussed.
Usually in architecture, we use the first technique, those keyword techniques. And I think all of the groups had their own keywords. For example, ours was fragmentation, the whole, mobility, because omnitopia means everything and the whole. So we chose this keywords, and then we based our assemblage based on those keywords.
Yeah. Yes, I realize maybe it's obviously thing to find this kind of ideas. So I think we've done with that.
Olga, thank you very much for your inspiring
Thank you too.
speech,
I hope it was
inspiring talk.
useful. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Actually, the categorizations you have made us very clear to understand how collage works, and that the thing that you have showed us, creative matrix, is a very useful technique, and we are very pleased to experience it with you. And also, thank you for your precious feedbacks for our installations. Our students are a little bit quiet tonight, but I think it was due to their anxiety of speaking in English, the language challenge. But they are all excited, I think, and we are very grateful to listen you and to share your experiences. And we like to collaborate you in the upcoming studies. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and coming here tonight.
Thank you to Irem, Ela, and others. It was really interesting for me. And thank you for such an interesting experience with your projects. I think it's really amazing, really cool. You also gave me some inspiring. It's inspiration, sorry. So I should practice my English more and more. So I hope that it was useful for you.
Yes.
And thank you. Teşekkür ederim. Teşekkür
Yeah.
ederim.
It was very nice.
Спасибо. Спасибо at Russian.
Mhm.
Rahmet in Kazakh. Thank you at English. That's all words that I know of thank you.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
You
Thank
too. And please welcome if you will find something new, interesting for me. Have a good night and have a lot of inspiration and energy for new and great projects.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Okay.
everything,
You
Olga.
too.
Let's take a photo.
Let's
Yes.
take a photo. Great.
Yes. Dilara, siz mi çekeceksiniz yoksa sizin, çünkü ekranınızdan kayda aldık ya.
So I did some photos. And the last word, Ela, maybe today for you, tomorrow, I can send you my presentation in PDF. Maybe it will be helpful for you to use
Okay,
it.
yeah, I'd love that. Thank you.
Okay, great. Bye-bye. Good
Bye
night
bye.
and good
Bye.
luck.
Thank you. Good night.